Hi students, hope that all of you have gone through the part 1 and part 2 of the story Hats and Hands, and today we are going to see the last part. And you may please take page number 71. Say, Mr. Marshall, growled the glum-faced man. This isn't quite fair. I am needing a drink and haven't had a smoke all day. Haven't you talked long enough? Take me in the smoker now, won't you? I am half dead for a pipe. Okay, last class we have seen that Mr. Easton, there was a conversation going on between Mr. Easton and Miss Fairchild. Now the other person, the serious looking person or the grim looking person, he interfered in the conversation between Mr. Easton and Miss Fairchild. So here the grim looking person or the serious person, he wanted to say something to Mr. Easton, so he interfered here. Say, Mr. Marshall, growled the glum-faced man. Growl means the grumbling sound made with our throat, and glum-faced man, the serious person, the serious looking person. And he says that it is not something very good. I need a drink and I wanted to smoke also. The serious looking person is saying to Mr. Easton that it is not quite fair that you are talking so long and I need a drink and at the same time I need the smoke. So as you know, the serious looking person or the second person, he has already told that he is a criminal and the other person is the marshal. That means Mr. Easton is the marshal. So he just wanted something from the marshal and he asked the marshal that he needs the drink and he needs the smoke. And haven't you talked long enough? And you are talking for a long period. I think that is enough. And is that enough for you? And now take me in the smoker. The smoker means the place where people can smoke the cigarette. Won't you? I am half dead for a pipe. Half dead for a pipe here means he needs cigarette. He has got a great craving for smoking. So he is asking Mr. Easton, or in the words of this serious looking person, he is asking the marshal that he needs to smoke and he needs to drink. And he is asking Mr. Easton to take him to the smoker room. The bound travelers rose to their feet, Easton with the same slow smile on his face. The bound travelers here means the travelers, those who were handcuffed. That means Mr. Easton and the serious looking person, or in the words of the serious looking person, the marshal and the criminal. So both of them rose to their feet. That means they stood up, and Easton with the same slow smile on his face, and he just stood up with a smile on his face, and he said to Miss Fairchild that I can't deny a petition for tobacco. So he is saying to Miss Fairchild that the other person is asking for cigarette, so I have to give that one because it is the one friend of the unfortunate. Actually, here unfortunate refers to Mr. Easton. He is saying that the strange looking or the serious looking person is the real friend of the unfortunate person. Unfortunate person means he says that is himself. Mr. Easton is the unfortunate, and we can see why he is the unfortunate. At the end of the story we will see that. Goodbye, Miss Fairchild. Duty calls. You know. He held out his hand for a farewell. So he sent the farewell and he said to Miss Fairchild that his duties and responsibilities calls him, so he went to fulfill his duty. And it is too bad you are not going east. So here Miss Fairchild wanted to travel with Mr. Easton. That is why she says that it is too bad you are not going east. And she is disappointed that Mr. Easton is going to get down there. She said, reclothing herself with a manner and style. That means making all the arrangements for her clothes. Reclothing with the manners or the manners, she just properly arranged her clothing. And then she again says, but you must go on to Leavenworth, I suppose. Anyway, you can't come to east, and I am disappointed that And anyway, I know that you have got a duty, so you have to go to Leavenworth. Earlier we had seen why they are going to Leavenworth, because there is a prison and this serious looking person is imprisoned there for counterfeiting, and we will know who is the real criminal and who is going really to prison at the end of the story. Yes, said Easton, I must go on to Leavenworth. And he says that there is no way to escape. I have to go, and my duty calls for that one. He says his duty calls for that one, and he wants to go. The two men sidled down the aisle into the smoker. So the both came out from the particular cabin, and they just went to the smoker. Now you may please take page number 72, first paragraph. The two passengers in a seat nearby had heard most of the conversation. Said one of them, that Marshall's a good sort of chap. Some of these Western fellows are all right. So the two other characters also introduced here. I told in the beginning that there are 5 characters in the story, and all the 3 we discussed already. And now the last 2 characters, that is 2 passengers, they are on the same train and the same coach. And the 2 passengers in a seat nearby had heard most of the conversation. These 2 passengers were listening to the conversation between Mr. Fairchild, then the conversation between Miss Fairchild, Mr. Easton, then the stranger or the serious looking person. And one of them said that Marshall's a good sort of chap. Some of these Western fellows are all right. And that Marshall, one of the passengers said that Marshall is really a good. And only few Western people or few Western fellows are good, and this particular person, this particular Marshall is something very good. He is very good person, a good chap. Chap means a good man. He is a good person. Then the other person says, "Young," exclaimed the first speaker. "Why? Oh, didn't you catch on? Say, did you ever know an officer to handcuff a prisoner to his right hand?" So in order to understand this, you must go back to the beginning of the story. You may please take page number 69. There, in the encounter between Miss Fairchild and Mr. Easton, we have noticed that Mr. Easton grasped the Miss Fairchild's hands with the left hand. Normally people address with the right hand, but he just grasped the hand with the left hand because his right hand was not free. That means his right hand was handcuffed to the serious looking person. So the real criminal here, it is Mr. Easton, and the serious looking person, he is the Marshall here. And from the last line you can understand that, did you ever know an officer to handcuff a prisoner to his right hand? That means normally the marshals, they keep the handcuff on their left hand, not on the right hand. And if Mr. Easton is the marshal means, then the handcuff is supposed to be on his left hand, but the handcuff is on his right hand. That means Mr. Easton is the culprit or the criminal, and serious or the glum looking person is the person who is the real marshal. And earlier we had seen Mr. Easton saying, "My butterfly days are over." Why he is saying so? Because he is going to prison and he had done some mistakes. He had done counterfeiting. Actually, Mr. Easton did the counterfeiting. He cheated some people for money, so he is imprisoned, and the serious looking person is taking Mr. Easton to the prison. And again, if you have observed the conversation of Mr. Easton, then you might have noticed he always speaks about money, and Mr. Easton only did the wrong, and he just cheated the people for money, and he is imprisoned. That is why he says, "My butterfly days are over," and now at right that moment he is imprisoned and he is a criminal. Then again, if you take the page number 71, then you can notice that he said, "It is the one friend of the unfortunate." So I told that unfortunate is actually Mr. Easton, and the unfortunate here in the sense that this person, Mr. Easton, is going to prison and nothing left, and his butterfly or the good days are over. Now always he has to be there in the prison. And he says that I must go on to Leavenworth. Why? He has no having any option. He must go to prison because he had done something mistake. Here, if you notice this story, then you can find that Mr. Easton considers the marshal, that is the serious looking person, as a true friend. Why? Because he did not allow Mr. Easton to reveal his true identity to the old friend. Otherwise, the old friend, after a long time, they met and encountered, and that time, if she came to know that Mr. Easton is a criminal, then it was not something good. But here, the marshal, the serious looking person, he was such a good police officer, and he helped Mr. Easton from a great embarrassment. So I hope that you understood the story, and you might have understood how the story got the title Hearts and Hands, the relationship, the friendship which happens truly from the hearts. It is something connected with the hearts. And there the marshal could easily reveal that Mr. Easton was a criminal, but he didn't do that one because he respected such a kind of friendship and he respected the human dignity. So I hope that you understood the story. So I will just wind up the story once again. Mr. Easton, Miss Fairchild, the serious looking person, and the two passengers. These all are the 5 characters in the story. And this story is set on a train which is moving towards Denver. And on a particular day, the train was there to Denver, and a lady called Miss Fairchild, she was sitting in a particular coach. Then 2 persons entered into the same coach, and one was a handsome person and other one was very serious, and both were handcuffed to each other. And these 2 sat in front or opposite of Miss Fairchild, and as she noticed, she found that she knows the other person who was sitting opposite to her. And one of the person who was sitting opposite to her was familiar to her, and she starts the conversation. And as the conversation develops, she finds that the person called Mr. Easton is handcuffed. Then she was totally confused and afraid. Then the other serious looking person, he came to help the handsome person, that is Mr. Easton, and says Mr. Easton is the marshal and the serious looking person is the criminal, and they were going to the prison. Then both Mr. Easton and Miss Fairchild, they recollect about the old memories, and Mr. Easton, he says how he got this particular job. Then also Miss Fairchild was little bit confused. Then the serious looking person or the criminal, he says that Mr. Easton, the handcuff, because normally it is the responsibility or the duty of the marshal to handcuff their prisoners. So that is why he is handcuffed to the other person. Then the conversation again develops, and Mr. Easton admits that his good days are over. And anyway, Miss Fairchild, she wanted to be with Mr. Easton, but it was not possible because Mr. Easton and the other serious looking person, they are going to Leavenworth. And the serious looking person, he told Mr. Easton that he wants to smoke, so they leave the place. Then the 2 passengers, other 2 characters are introduced, and they reveals the true nature of these 2 people, 2 persons. And one of the passengers, he says that the true or the real marshal is the serious looking person, and the other one, the person called Mr. Easton, he is the criminal. Okay, I hope that you have understood the story, and you just once again go through and you will understand the story. It is very clear and it is very simple, and you just make thorough that the vocabularies are clear to you, and if there is any new vocabularies, please write and learn the meaning and the usage. And for the homework, you may please write first 2 unsolved paragraphs given in your workbook. Thank you. Have a nice day.